You're still hosting.
No, I know. I'm not even. I just hit start stream now. I couldn't. I saw the camera wasn't up, is all. Let's put this shit up here for now. Open this up. I know why my camera's not coming on, guys, but we're going camera free.
Look at that. So, let us do.
What's happening?
I don't know.
I'm gonna restart OBS, guys, before everybody loses their mind. Configure. Please. I love you. Don't go that way. You're going that way. I won't center. Fuck the walk. Alright, just go fuck yourself, camera. I don't care. Hi, guys. Welcome to My Life is Fucked. And everybody ate my cat. Put that back there. We'll put that back there. And Heroes of the Storm is currently updating. Sponsored by PlayerUnknown. Oh my god, really? I have like 180 meg download.
Okay.
That shouldn't be long.
Okay. Yeah, they're doing a Suns Out, Guns Out event, so we could do that.
Alright, cool. I don't know what that is.
It's their summer event that you get entered into a sweepstakes just for playing.
Oh, cool. Yeah, remember all I do is play the dwarf?
Yeah.
From WoW.
You can play more.
Oh my god, I can hit play. It would be weird if it's in the front. I missed the conversation, obviously. At this rate, I'm about to have one of the streams like Jill has and go to that website she told me to go to.
What?
Where you play like community games with people. Alright, that's I really needed to see that guy's package. It's fantastic. The game is loading.
Mm-hmm.
This should be my permanent title. What was your experience playing games like Heroes of the Storm? I'm on a different account. Whatever. Let me in. We're getting very close to that, man. What is happening? No, I don't want the veteran introduction. Oh god, Joe. I gotta change accounts.
Okay. You do you.
If this ever loads. Oh, while it's loading, I'll do game capture. Welcome to Everything's Fucked.
Meh.
And my firewall's now trying to prevent Heroes of the Storm from loading. Just turn on the PS4 and lose a week of your life with me. I'm getting close, Vane. I was actually planning on playing Darksiders after Rocket League tonight, but I didn't want to do that since Joe logged on, and I'm enjoying
Welcome
this.
to the Veteran Challenge.
Alright, go fuck yourself. I don't want to do the Veteran Challenge. Just quit. Eat my asshole.
Oh wow.
You got excited because I said eat my asshole? Or?
No, I just. Okay.
Why is it so loud? No, just go
Why
away.
are they making you do this?
I don't know.
They're making you do this?
For the Alliance.
Because
My sorcery is unrivaled.
I'm on my other WoW account, so I've never actually played Heroes on this account.
I am not PC.
Oh my god, yes, thank you for all the information, you motherfuckers. This game, quickly.
No, you were picking which one you got for free.
No! I've already got the other account, I want to keep working on the same account. I just forgot I was on the Streamer WoW account.
I'm not PC Master Race. I've had consoles up till Orange Box. Orange Box was the thing that let me get the where I was like, I'd like a PC that could actually play it, so I could pay TF to actual people rather than nobody.
Frankly, I'm probably more PC Master Race than he is, Vane.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time putting my PC down to go sit by the consoles. Oh my god, now this is frozen. I'm gonna kill somebody.
It's salt. It's salt on cake.
Just fucking exit the game. I'm going to rape your cat. Sorry, Joe.
It's okay.
Stupid
No worries.
PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. No, I changed the title. You just gotta refresh. I definitely changed the title.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just my fucking game is frozen again. I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm legit angry now. Close window. Close the fucking window. There's no reason for this.
Where is the Discord info? Chat rules, GLG Discord. Chat with the community. Well, and yeah, there's no. Okay.
What are we talking about?
Michael's on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, you can invite.
Okay.
You're a
just
mod
don't know
anyway,
how
so.
I just don't know how to do it inside. An instant invite. There we go.
Holy bitch turtles.
Everything is gonna be okay.
Don't understand what my computer's problem is right now. Why won't it let me see my task manager? God.
Are your drivers up to date?
They were?
Did you piss off like some ransomware people?
Yeah, apparently PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds.
True.
Holy fuck, I'm gonna shoot somebody in the face. Like, Heroes of the Storm will legitimately not exit. Let me re-enter the BattleNet app and see what happens. This is almost as fun as Max Payne. Not quite. I mean, Alan Wake. Please close. Please just fucking close. Alright, fuck this. Windows key. Restart. Okay, here we go. I forgot about that trick. Oh, okay, cancel. Oh, I do not want to shut OBS down. Thank you. Sorry guys, this is ridiculous. Praise the Lord. Still there, Joe? Okie dokie. I'm coming back.
Nice.
And I'm just gonna use this account. Fuck it.
Oh. Okay. I've never been to either. I hope it's good.
Turn down the volume on the game a bit. Alright, Joe. Apparently we're going into Bloodlust Brawl?
Nope.
Nope, okay. Michael joining us?
Give me a minute, my brother trying to connect to Discord.
Okay. No worries.
I'm not gonna play him, I'm gonna play her. Just check. What are you looking like? What type of character are you looking to play?
I'm just gonna go ahead and stick with Jaina, because what the hell?
Okay.
Actually, maybe I'll do Vala.
Hey, Michael. Thank you.
Oh no, is he gonna have the Discord bug where he can hear us but not...
He has his mute on.
Okay.
Can you say something, Michael?
Tell me about your baseball bat.
Okay, what did we do last time when this happened?
Oh, I had to go to, settings
Settings.
and change everything to default. Yeah, user settings, voice, and make sure your input and output are on default, or select your thing if that doesn't work. And make sure he's not on push to talk.
Did you get that, Michael?
Make sure I don't have him muted or anything. I wouldn't imagine though.
Oh, he's setting up hotkeys.
Okay. Raffle puppies! Yeah, he's not muted or anything. Remember that day we all called out sick and just played games all night?
I don't have sick days.
What's that mean? Oh, you have to wait.
I have to wait 3 months, and then I still don't have sick days. They actually take it out of my PTO.
Oh God.
Yep.
How much do you accrue?
I get 20 days a year.
Oh, that's not terrible.
Yeah, but
I mean, I've been at my job for 13 years and I get 15. Well, actually, that's not true. I get 15 PTO plus 5 sick, so same day really.
my last job, the sick was
I need a hero. Hi guys. How's everybody? Have you guys played Heroes of the Storm before? Or MOBAs in general?
Yeah.
I need a weirdo. Yeah, I'll do ranged for a change.
Is anyone else in Discord? No.
Not on the voice server.
Would you mind doing switching to the Blizzard chat?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah, let me
Because
just
that will be much easier.
yeah, just invite me. I'll stay in the Discord, but yeah.
Hello?
Hey, Michael.
Hey.
Yeah, you should have just added me as a friend and then invited me. What's your Discord tag?
Oh.
Because you gave me a link.
I sent you a request. I don't know Discord.
What's your numbers?
I just sent you a friend request.
No, that's a fake. That's a. Give me a second.
Joe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay.
You hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I hear you fine. Alright.
No, I see it. You sent it to me via the website, so I took it through the there.
Okay.
Swing
I didn't know it.
zero. Send friend request. I found you because I synced it with what's it called? X-Wing Zero, yeah. I
Oops.
found you.
Okay.
There you go. See? I have the app on my computer. If you want to use Discord, just invite me through there. Because I didn't know how to join it through the app. Because when I click your link, it just sends me to the website.
Oh yeah.
No worries. I think the website's where all the issues are. So, we are waiting for you for some suns out, guns out.
Okay, did you want to use Discord instead?
That's more Joe.
Makes no difference. We're already in this. This is fine.
Oh, okay, so.
Yeah, nobody else is
Okay.
chatting with us, so I don't care. I'm still on my Discord if
Oh,
anybody
Lee's
wants to
not
get on
playing?
Who?
Lee's not playing? I saw him in the
there. I don't know.
Discord.
No, he's playing with Alex, I think.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
You had the Haka? Ragnaros.
I just had to buy a new phone.
Oh, what happened?
My old phone, I couldn't text or do anything.
Oh.
And then so I go buy the phone. I bought it outright. It was like $200, and they're like, "Oh, $20 fee." And I'm like, "What's a $20 fee for? I just bought a phone from you." And they're like, "Oh, it's an upgrade." I was like, "No, my phone broke. I guess anything's an upgrade. As a paper bag would be an upgrade, but like they charge you to buy a phone. That doesn't make sense to me." And then I called even, and
You'll never play these, Vane? Okay.
Really?
That's what he says.
what happened?
One of my viewers says he'll never play MOBAs.
Oh, Hmm.
I'm ready.
I don't know who to be. Hold on.
I'm just trying something different. I suck, so it doesn't really
I
matter.
stand ready.
Okay.
I've only ever been melee, so. How come,
She's
Vayne?
good, but squishy.
What? Oh jeez, our team. Team's push. I'm really rusty. Haven't played in like a couple weeks.
No worries.
Have you been playing anything? Wow.
Yeah, I've been playing my shaman again.
I need to hop on there and play the monk for a little bit.
What happened?
I haven't been on lately for a while.
I know.
I'm always
I'm
up for
sorry.
WoW.
You're always up for a while?
Always.
Do you raid?
No, I don't have a character of raid level right now.
I thought you did.
No, I'm still leveling. I'm derping along
What
very
happened?
slowly.
What happened to your undead guy?
That's another account. I haven't played that in a while.
Oh, okay.
I think he was actually about where my hunter is right now.
The battle begins shortly, heroes.
I don't remember how to play.
But their team's kinda scary. They're gonna eat us.
I haven't played against Stakov yet.
What does he get level 1? I haven't either. I just know if he gets... Okay, his auto attack is
The
slow
gates
and he
shall
hits
open
very
in
hard.
10
Lurking arms
seconds.
area expands 50% over 2.5 seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Chiz.
1. Go on now.
The name sounds official. Are you streaming?
As you wish.
I don't know, are you streaming?
Whose name sounds official? I don't think he's talking to me. He, she. Oh, I don't want to be there.
I'm coming.
Let us move.
We got 2 of them for 1, so I'm okay. I'm okay with that trade.
Eliminate that hero.
I'm gonna go top
Let
then.
us move.
I'm going bottom.
We need a soak.
No mercy for the wicked.
You should not be laning by yourself.
Actually, he's a really good solo lane.
Yeah, but he's like never
Choose a talent.
very rarely played this.
Night will fall in just a few moments.
Oh, Joe you're
I
talking
hope
about.
you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
ready.
I was talking about Rhaegar is a really good solo lane actually. Nah.
How the fuck do I choose a talent?
No mercy for the wicked. My hunt continues.
Okay.
Dabu.
The Shamblers rise!
Okay, so do you know anything about this map, Joe?
No.
No.
I don't even know why I'm standing in place right now.
Oh, okay.
There we go. I'm trying to remember how to play it.
Don't stand in that, don't stand in that.
Yep, I'm moving.
Swift and silent.
Got it. I don't want you to die already.
Well, thank you.
You got a group.
I'm dead.
Okay, you did, never mind. It's because they got stealthies.
Choose a talent.
We really need to get on this shit.
Enough
Work
waiting.
on all of
Let
it.
us depart.
That's the real one.
Yeah, and I walked through that. Friggin' arm is really annoying.
Let us move.
I don't know what's happening.
Okay, so on the
Follow
night
me.
phase, you gotta get the plants to feed the monster seed, and then somebody can hop in it and basically tag them and do a bunch of damage. So that's the That's the object of like doing all this shit. It's like, okay.
Trying to appeal for you, Joe. Be careful.
Oh yeah.
Yes, slaughter them all.
Oh my god, that silence is so annoying. I'm dead.
Double kill.
You got, yeah, run away, Joe.
Yep.
You will live.
Okay, just leave Obama. I messed up my billable.
I should have stuck with the melee.
It's okay. No worries.
We need a group. Let's group bot
This is mine.
for the big one.
As you wish.
It's actually like.
Okay, so
Your fate is sealed. I depart.
Jeez.
Vala's up top.
I depart.
Oh, oh, oh.
Yay.
You have
Revenge.
enough seeds. Can
We
you
avenged him.
feel the terror growing?
I'll be the bait.
The sun dawns. My children must sleep. For now. Choose a talent. Harvest the result of your efforts, heroes.
Okay, so Joe,
Bring
Am I
now-
getting it,
terror
or do you
to
want to get it?
life.
I'll get it. So now, Joe, that we
Yeah.
have 100 seeds.
Yep.
This thing pops up over here.
Yep.
And
Well done. The
Oh, nice.
terror shall
Nah.
uproot
Yep.
your enemy's forts.
I'll just follow
you
that
can
thing.
have it. Yep. So they have a speed boost. They can drop down a plant to turn people into plants. And then they have a thing that chokes their,
Path leads this way.
God, I'm terrible at this. Oh my god, really?
Bloom again.
Of all genres, this is my most noobiest.
Fort destroyed. Your terror has wilted.
Said out all genres, what?
This is my most noobiest.
Oh, okay.
The only time I've ever played any MOBA is with you guys for about 2 hours total. So.
Oh, I remember that. I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this build. That's what I used to go on him, but I like it instead. You just
think
help
of
me
it as,
take this?
sure. Just think of it as really casual, Joe.
Oh yeah, I'm
No
not
big
worried about it. I'm just trying to figure it out,
This is
basically.
probably the most casual MOBA. Anyways, it's actually so casual people make fun of it. And they're like, it's casual. And they're like, yeah, okay. Oh, there's 2 bot, 3 bot. There's a
Yeah,
lot bot. Let's not go
going.
that way. Don't die on me. Oh shit, I'm gonna die. Oh, the jukes are real. Here, come here.
Thank you, my hero.
The night comes, heroes. Remember, kill the shadow.
Oh,
Oh, that was fast.
oh, they got 10.
Choose a talent.
Oh
Wow,
yeah, they did. They did. Yeah.
they
funny
did
how
get
that
10.
worked. Yep.
Shit, what did they get for 10? Strafe. Oh, they didn't. Oh, crap. Oh, shit. Okay, fuck that. Where are you, baby?
Enough waiting.
Screw
Let us
you.
depart.
The Shamblers rise again! Free my seeds, heroes!
They're doing bottom.
Alright, I'll get top.
Swift and silent.
He's right though, I can babysit you. To a point. You go in too deep, you're screwed. There's only so much I can do against Nova.
It's all good.
Oh, what? No, don't run into...
All good, Michael.
No mercy.
Consider
Oh,
your
shit.
flame
I
extinguished.
cleanse you and everything, so you can run away.
I have no
And
idea.
you
what's
were
going
out,
on.
and I was like, cleanses. It's like you remember WoW PvP trinket?
Yeah,
how it
yeah.
removes. That's what it is, except I can use it on you.
Oh, okay.
My hunt can
So I basically took away. So what's his face or Kerrigan
Gotcha.
couldn't stun you, so you wouldn't die.
Well, I ruined that.
No, you
It's
didn't
not
ruin
that
anything.
big of a deal.
Your enemy spawns a terror.
I'm just trying to inform you so you know for next time. It tells you, actually, it will say in big letters, unstoppable over your head.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it just means like they can't stop you.
Your fate is sealed.
I'm lagging a bit, sorry.
Let us move.
Just farming at the moment.
Oh,
I
thank you.
ulted you, Joseph. You're welcome.
I see.
I got polyed like really hard, so I had to run like a
Your
bitch.
fate is sealed.
They were gonna turn on me. That silence is actually really, really annoying.
The enemy's terror.
That's Stukov has?
Fallen. Choose a talent.
Yeah.
No mercy for the wicked.
Oh jeez. Nova?
Yeah, no, I blew up.
Nova's really good against you, to be completely honest. It's not
Yeah,
really
and I was
your
under
fault.
half health.
Yes,
Oh!
Oh wow, okay. That's a really cool ability.
a clever ploy.
What's the ability?
The shove? That was pretty cool, actually. I'm actually... Oh, get out.
Not let you die.
Oh, that was better. Slightly.
Come here, bitch.
Oh, found him!
Damn it, I died. I feel like they're just stomping us right now. They're like an anti-squish team with Kerrigan
In Nova.
and Nova, yep. And we don't have any.
Let us depart.
Any tank?
We don't really have CC. I mean, we got Valyria and Kael'thas. But
We don't
I'm
have a
not really
tank.
sure. Nobody has a tank.
I thought Stukov was a tank. Is he not a tank?
I don't know his stats. I guess he's kind of tanky, but I don't think he's an actual tank. Take it
Okay.
out of there, Joe. Just run away. I don't know.
Your enemy has annihilated a bot. I depart.
Well then.
Your defenses fall apart. Enemy slain.
Your range and your adjustment. Okay. Oh, it's okay.
That was fast. Oh shit.
Same.
Double kill.
I mean, my shit gives you a shield, but you die so fast, it's kind of hard.
You all die really fast.
I don't think we're gonna get him, no. Let's just take this. Okay?
I guess. Yeah, they're 4 down. It's only Strakov, or whatever his name is.
Stukov? Did you say Shako?
No, I said Strakov.
Enough waiting.
Choose
This
a
shit.
talent.
Cool. Should probably group bottom. Like, I'm just talenting specifically to appeal for you guys. Cause it's like kind of stupid how squishy we are.
Yep.
Oh, we forgot like 3 of them up there. That's silence, man.
Yeah, I'm not liking playing against them. They get the silence and it hurts.
Descends. A clever ploy.
Nova's mid, we're fine.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude, she's just all burst. She got no follow up.
Yeah, that is her shtick.
Like, she's good against us because we're literally all squishies. Well, except me, I'm not really that squishy. We could probably fight them, they're doing this. They're tanking it. No?
I'm just gonna wipe top and then I'll be down.
At that point it'll be over, we kinda need to stop them now.
Come on.
Like,
Yes, that is enough.
oh wow, I'm
Soon the
fucked.
garden terror will be
Kerrigan ate me.
yours.
The dawn has come, heroes, and with it, my children must rest. Okay, let's try that again. The terror awaits.
You can take it, Joe.
Come and take its power.
Do you guys kill each other?
Yep. I got 3 of them.
Funny. Joe, you can take the terror.
Oh, I'm all the way out here.
Yeah, you gotta get it though, you're the only one alive, it's gonna go away.
Oh shit.
Your terror is
Hit
starting
B,
to
hit B.
wilt. I'd hurry if I need to pull back.
It has different abilities, just when you get in it, don't hit R.
Okay.
Because if you hit R, you'll come out. It will tell you if you hover over it.
Swift
Yeah,
and
the-
silent.
Yeah, right click it. And so E is gonna be your speed
Your
boost.
terror has
Okay.
come to
W
life.
is
Use it to harvest your
gonna be the
enemy's
thing when you get
corpse.
next to a tower.
Okay.
And plop that down, the vines will shut it down. And then 2 is actually place it on a plant. And if they stand there and it pulses, it's gonna turn them into a, what's it called? A little plant and do less damage.
Gotcha.
You have a separate health bar and everything.
Yeah, so
Just be
You die
mindful
like
you
that.
all pop out.
Okay.
Yeah, go hit buildings. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have done it by yourself, so I don't think it was a big deal.
That seemed personal.
Yeah, you can tank it with that thing. Drop the plant thingy in there. Hit your other one.
Yep.
There we go. That disables all the buildings.
Gotcha.
Don't die, Joseph.
I'm trying not to.
Admit it. You enjoy
Totally didn't mean. I thought they were gonna go. Whatever. Drop the plant thingy again when you can. Drop it on the other side of the wall. Baby's first terror.
Nice. Keep going. You got 18 seconds before it's gone.
Okay.
And we just hit 20. Out.
Your terror is compost.
Oh god.
Just I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
Right. Nightfall.
Or not,
in
maybe
not.
30
That's fine.
seconds.
That's why I took
But you got the 20 upgrade. Don't worry about it. Just leave it. It's useless. We're gonna outrange it.
that hero. Our allies in trouble.
I'm fine. You're not gonna catch me.
The Shamblers rise. Slay them and gather the seeds.
Double Dabu.
Let's try that again.
It's like a thing freaking orcs say. Dabu.
As you wish.
Your dominance spreads.
I'm going back for a bit.
Careful, Jeff.
Yeah, Mr. MMO Joe, we should really be grouping. It makes it easier.
It's Saturday.
Yes, I see.
We can group for top one.
Z's your mount.
Yep.
Go. Okay.
I don't vote for 40.
That I don't know how you do.
What?
How you post it.
Oh, Alt left click.
Really?
That's the fake. I'm silent.
I'm done.
They shall feed my children.
I try to do everything for you.
No, it's okay.
The infested
You sound like a disappointed parent.
triple kill.
Harvest the result of your efforts.
Kind of what
Bring my
it feels like sometimes when you support. I mean, like,
Yes, I see.
yeah, I'll grab it. I'll show you. I'll get,
Why
like
do
maybe
you
Joe
delay?
can like
No
see it for next
terror
time.
lasts forever.
You good last time.
No, it's just fine. I'm just saying like
I hate to say
there's like
but your enemy
you can
has
do
spawned
things like
terror.
it was his first time, so I'm saying like you can pick up tips.
Done. The terror shall sap the life from your
Like you can
enemy.
tank the tire. Like basically, Joe, when you grab the terror, like in perfect world, you'll grab it, drop the W thing that shuts down all the towers,
Right.
and then as soon as they start to hit it, you'll run away with your E and then do it to another tower.
Gotcha.
Try to get the most value out of it. Nobody told you. I just wanted to. I'm not complaining. I just. That's like how you do it, like most efficient way.
No, it's cool. I'm not butthurt about like being told how to play. It's cool.
Posted. My plans will revive you.
I'm just
Rock the
honestly
core.
having trouble even following what the hell's going on most of the time.
Your
Like,
task has been cut down.
Simply move on.
Well done. Your enemy's terror has withered away.
Oh, I'm the only one alive.
Yep.
Oh, that's bad. Okay.
There goes your king. Your core is under attack.
Your fate is sealed. Let us know.
So, how are you liking it?
No, it's cool. I'm just, it's kind of a steep learning
Falls,
curve.
Heroes. How I love to see my garden
Yeah.
ruins glow.
You don't go over there now. Back up, Joe.
Yep.
Yeah, they're all over there.
See that?
As you wish.
It is time! Do what must be done!
I'm probably gonna go to bed, so I'm really tired.
You got work tomorrow?
No, I'm off. I got my vacation going up Friday.
Oh, nice.
With the reservation and everything. You know it's 45, be careful.
Easy to run.
Complete your task!
Meow.
I'm
Well,
going for
defense
most
score.
deaths.
Do you have the most deaths?
I'm sure I do.
You were tied with our Kael'thas, so no.
Hmm.
It's a high death game.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. We're in a quick match. It's not a big deal.
I see you've survived another night. How wonderful for you. A terror has grown for your enemies, heroes.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you don't think about it a lot, but there's a lot of nuances, like those catapults go.
Joseph, we need a group.
I see.
The enemy is attacking your core.
There it goes.
Not all face their terrors and survive.
MVP.
31 assists. 34% of all healing done in the game. That's ridiculous.
Oh, you got 10. Cool, I got a loot chest.
Congrats. Did you level Joe at all or no?
Not out yet.
Okay.
Computer's being quite slow right now.
Thing on
Yeah, leveled up.
Nice.
Too bad.
Alright. Good night, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Oh, I'll add you, Joe.
Okay.
I added you. Did it work?
Yes.
I don't see you on my.
I'm a little slow.
So this is. Oh, it's okay.
It's my second account.
Yeah, I figured. Alright. Good night.
Bye,
I'm
man.
like really
Good night.
tired. Have fun. It was fun. I actually had a recommendation for you people to try. Hold on. Raynor? Have you tried Raynor? Raynor?
No.
I think he's like an easier version of Vala,
Okay.
and he's a bit tankier, and when he gets low, he heals himself.
Okay.
So he's a lot more forgiving, and
Gotcha.
he's cheap too.
Oh, check it
Yeah,
out.
this guy, Joe.
Yeah, what else? I think like if you want to learn how to play range, I think he would probably be
Oh,
like
okay.
a easy person to pick up on.
Yeah, I'll probably go back to tank,
Eh.
honestly, but till I feel like I know the game better, just because I'm most comfortable with that in every game. But
Okay,
thank you, though.
you're welcome. Alright,
Good night, Michael.
I'm gonna go to bed.
Night, dude.
Thanks.
You want to do another one, Joe, or are you done?
It's 12:17.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
Yeah, I got work in the morning.
Okay, man.
Alright, it was fun.
Sounds good.
Sorry that we had so many like technical issues.
No, it's. I mean, it is what it is, you know.
I'm sorry if this was a little stressful.
No, I'm cool. I just really have to put time into this when I'm like alert,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yep. And Jane has a point about the toxicity.
Yeah.
The thing is, on this one, it's nice that you can just go in and like auto mute everything.
Yeah, yeah.
If the tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it. then
Yeah,
nobody's-
really.
Are you heading to bed, or are you gonna play a bit more?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm probably not gonna get off stream just yet. I still have some Hobbit reading to do, if nothing else. But
Okay.
yeah. But I'll catch you maybe on tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, man.
Catch you tomorrow.
Thanks for
Have
hanging.
fun with the Hobbit.
All
No
right, bud.
problem.
Sleep well, bud.
Thank
All right, guys. Not really my kind of game. I wouldn't mind learning how to play, but I don't know how much time I'm gonna put into that. Don't really feel like ending on that note. Still feel like gaming a little. Like I really have. It's almost like I can't keep track of what the hell's going on. I'm sure that just comes with time and practice, but feels overwhelming to me for some reason. So guys, any I don't know what I feel like playing, to be honest with you. Yeah, you know what, let's try this again. Against my horror of judgment. Oh god, the bot's not even on, really? Come on, bot. Work with me. Sorry for the technical difficulties tonight, guys. The frustration is real. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that right now. Maybe too vain. Let's try this again. It'll be a new experience to try this solo. Why is Discord open 3 times? Oh my lord, kill me now. Is my chat dead? My chat's dead, isn't it? Oh my god. Turtles. Turtles, turtles, turtles. Okay, I'm just going to turn it off for now. Sorry about that, folks, if you're looking to watch that. Having one of those nights. We're doing really good with the Rocket League. If I turn it back on now, is it up to date? Nope. Okay. Minecraft story mode. What kind of craziness is this? Now I want to try playing one game of this again. I'm going to give it one more shot. If it crashes, I'm probably just going to call it. But let's give it a shot. Playing Wizard of Oz for 17 cats. Oh, yeah. Hopefully this captures no problem right now. Come on. Really? You don't want to capture? Son of a bitch. You son of a bitch! Oh, there it is. It's capturing. It's just not on stream. Okay. Really behind. Jesus. Okie dokie. Let's be getting in trouble here, guys. I have nobody to get my back. It's not gonna go well. Derp time. Dirt time. Yeah, I was actually gonna play Darksiders tonight, but kind of beat to start that now. Stupid work schedule is pissing me off, but money's money.
Gonna be stressing.
Surprise!
Oh god, the lag is real. It works, Johnny. It works. Don't worry, that was me lagging too. I don't think we're dropping frames. Took a minute. Oh, that's my face. Actually, that's my back. It's a nice, neat row of spinal holes you put in me, though. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. Cool. Plane, the plane.
Hello.
Oh shit. Made a horrible mistake. Not sure what we're talking about. Not sure what we're talking about, Moose. Get on the ground. Well, that went as well as could be expected. Great, I've got a scope and no gun. My favorite. Gun. Hello, gun. Gun. I require you. You're shitting me right now. I got painkillers. I'm gonna need them because I'm about to die. Well, gotta go. Seriously. Most likely going to get shot going across this field, but... if I don't, there might be guns here. Or there might be death. Great, I've got a holographic sight. I have no fucking weapons. Are you kidding me right now? Oh god, hi. How are you, Johnny? For real? A level 2 backpack, nothing else. Okay, well that's handy. Energy drink's fine. That's not a thing. Pardon me, motorcycle, I'll be right with you. I need a better weapon or it's all pointless. Hey, I love white combat pants. I don't want those. I'll take the baseball bat, or hat, sure. Stun grenade, great. Still no fucking rifle. Oh my god. What's that? Isn't there a house back here? Dear God, please give me an automatic weapon. Great. No, not today. Oh yeah. Where the fuck do I have to... Are you serious? One time I don't go on the island, it's on the island. Oh my god. There's a motorcycle. YOLO. Whew. Not trees. I'm trying. Not the way I want to go. This way, please. Let's find a spot, guys. Nope, there's water there, and that's gonna suck. I crashed the bike. Can I still use the bike? Get on the bike. To get across. This is gonna be brutal. I need to go over this bridge. Probably. I have a motorbike though. No, no, no. Okay. Well, alright. We're not going in that shack. Oh no, it should be fine, man. Should be fine. No worries. Well, I couldn't have done that better if I wanted to. Can't get in there now, though. This is looted. Holy shit. Alright. Now we wait and see where the circle goes. If we're lucky, it stays here. If we're unlucky, it goes there. Yes, I'd very much like a first aid kit, thank you. Comes a dude. There's a buggy. He's going straight across. Everybody's gonna be going for that bridge. About to find out. Well, fuck you. Only I'm not that far away, but that's still horrible. It's gonna be on the island, so we have to... This is gonna be a fucking bloodbath, guys. Now, where did I put that motorcycle? Well, apparently. Nothing good will come of this if we wait. So, it's YOLO time. I'm gonna die right here, you know that, right? So, just so we're all on the same page. There's a dude right there, and I think I just lost the bike, guys. Okay, that was ridiculous. I'm gonna drown. I'm not gonna drown. I'm actually at the surface. Can I use a med kit? Nope. Can't use a med kit in the water. Very subtle. You like that, right? Oh, that's cool. That's a good read. That's a good read, Moose. About taking the path that no one will expect me to take. Hey, Nana. Question is, how long will it be until somebody shoots me in the water here? It looks like there's a dude right there. That could be a bush, I can't really tell. Somebody's going over the bridge. Noobs. Oh my god, really? Okay, that's not useful. Where the fuck did he go? Or you just roll the fucking Jeep down there. Somebody just rolled the Jeep down there, didn't they? Yeah, that would be the way to go. I was thinking that too. That's why I was waiting to get killed when I got... Oh shit. Did they see me? No. Oh shit, now they do. Yeah, the Jeep just rolled. It's a terrible idea. This is the better idea. Holy fuck, that thing is slow. Let's get away from the bridge. We need more gear, basically. So we have to take some risks here. Try to go someplace nobody else has probably gone. Where's the fucking... God, I'm right outside the circle too. Seriously? There's nothing anywhere that I go today. Are you serious right now? I mean, great. It's wonderful, except I have 2 fucking shotguns, basically. I'm dead. No bueno. Just these 2 buildings here, huh? Yep. And here comes death. So... Oh, 16 though. Oh, that'd be great, Sid. We're able to pull off such maneuvers. Let's get away from the Jeep a little bit. Not so far that we can't grab it if we need it. Oh, I'm going out of the fucking circle. God damn it. Is the Jeep out of the circle? I think it is. Was he right inside the circle? Okay. Gotta go. Later, dude. looks like a terrible place to go. Oh god. Wow, that worked out. You do it. You can do it. Oh god. Oh, well, I should have just taken the road then, apparently. What skills? Oh, what epic driving skills. Oh god. Brave Sir Robin. Run away! Dude, I have no fucking good weaponry. Like, I'm screwed. Oh, I tried to get him. Serpentine! Serpentine! Well, this can't be good. I'm just out for a nice country drive. Close the door. No, fucking close the door. Alright, open the door. Close the door, please, before somebody shoots me. Great. More fucking 12 gauge ammo anyway. Little gas can. No, that's not useful at all. Where are all the guns? I just want guns. God damn it. It's a fly. I thought that was a person. Oh well. I have a few options here. Oh, I want to go out there. I'm the best hider ever. I just want to turn around and see an M16 or something. Come on. Great. Fucker. I'll take the level 2 backpack, thanks. Top 10 without even engaging anybody. It's a weird game. Are you fucking with me right now? Also, where's the fucking circle? Oh my god, I'm inside it, really? Please, let there be. Anything on this fucking balcony. Oh my god. Really? A fucking handgun? Well. Well, there's nobody goes up in that house and shoots us in the face. Oh god, we're not inside it anymore. Go fuck yourself. Shit. Alrighty. How's there not a gun in here? It's not even fucking looted. Great, another sight. That's what I need. Going the right way. Got a little bit of time. Fuck. I'm not really in a terrible spot. Except that the game is going to end. Ah, fuck. Now I'm in a terrible spot. On this fucking hill. Like, are you serious right now? I don't even know what happened. Wait, I just died from being outside the plate zone. Are you serious? YOLO. Ridiculous. I just died. Oh my god. I just died. It's the best game of hide and seek ever. What's going on, Sip, buddy? Oh, fuck. Ah, shit. I'm out to drinky drinks. BRB.
Oh, I love this part. Oh, it's weird. There are no women. Nobody ever played a girl in this game.
Yeah, I know, right? The girls. Hmm?
Alright, I'm the last one on the plane. Oh god, everybody just got out. Fuck that. I'm going long term. Oh, that way, please. There's a dude going there. Except he missed. Kind of. We'll play a little bit of a long game here. Going to start with the strategy that got me in the top 6 last time. I'm gonna run the fuck away. Oh my god, I'm so far away. I need a vehicle and some fucking weapons. Please give me something that can shoot far this time. It was an interesting strategy. Well, and you gotta get, like... I had nothing to really engage with except for close quarters, so hiding in the houses wasn't terrible. I just didn't leave myself... I don't know if it takes more health as it gets later in the game or what, but I clearly didn't leave myself enough health to survive the onslaught of the Ring of Happiness. God damn, are you serious right now? Now I gotta pray for a gun already. Oh my lord. I have no luck with the looting. None. I found the best t-shirts though. Close the door. Well, fuck. I'm pretty much dead already. Looks like it's very lucky right now. There's never anything in the damn bathroom. Yeah, great. Found an actual weapon. 16, AR-15, something with some bullets, please. Be lovely. Okay. Great, I've got a tactical stock and a police vest. Clearly this is a cop's house, but once again. Shopping. Enjoy your shopping trip, my friend. Lock the doors. Come on, man. Need some skin, baby. Are you serious right now? We've got a pistol. Oh, we've got another pistol. I don't care. Yes, I want that one. Well, I will clearly win the game now. Apparently a handgun enthusiast lives here. Does he keep his guns on his balcony? Nope. Go fuck yourself. Shit. Okay. Where do I go, George? Way south. I don't suppose there's a car lying around, huh? That's rusted. Fuck. Please, 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 please. Oh, thank you, God. Nope, that's fucking rusted too. God damn it. Run through the barrier, man. Alright. Made it through the town. Without finding any guns. Yay. Laser-like game. Eh. I do actually have stuff, I just don't want to take the time to, I'm so fucking far away. Actually, I'm not too bad right now. I'm not good, but I'm not... I do have a scope, I think. And a tactical stock. I'm not actually, I don't think I have a scope. I think that was last game. You know what? I was going to avoid the fucking house, but... I don't know, it's not inside the circle, so I am going to avoid the house. So there's a car over there. And there does not appear to be. Ooh-wee, if somebody had a sniper rifle, would I be dead meat? There are probably going to be people inside these houses because they're right on the fucking edge, but we're going to find out. If there is somebody in here, I'd probably already be dead. Fuck, there's never... Fucking... Okay. Cool. Ooh. Balcony. Okay. Where are they? What else you say? Yeah, that's my plan. I like the way you think, boy. And where we have to go. Pretty fucking far. I've made a mistake. Shotgun chokes do I need? Oh, I missed the frying pan. Oh well. It's all good. The same backpack. Right. Thought he stopped, but maybe he kept going. He saw me. I thought he didn't see me. Ah, fuck. Alright. This game cracks me up. I think that's enough of that for now. Hey guys, feeling about some hobbiting, I guess. Boom. Hello, fireplace. How are you? It's nice to see you, fireplace. Alrighty. In a swift transition from me derping at a game that I'm terrible at, actually 2 games that I'm terrible at, 3 games that I'm terrible at. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing with Dungeon of the Endless either. It's been a weird night. But, despite that, it's time for a little excellence of reading. I gotta get back to dungeon crawling, to be honest with you. I'm a little missing it, but let's see what our chapter looks like tonight. About 19 pages for chapter 6, and oh, chapter 7's a long one. Well, we might try to do both though. We'll see. So Hi guys, how are you tonight? Is everybody ready to come down? Get on the relaxed tip. Enjoy the crackling fireplace. And continue our reading of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit. We're on page 90 out of 304. Yeah, 304. So we're almost a third of the way through the book. We'll be a third of the way through the book after tonight. And then tomorrow night, I need the fireplace. The fireplace is nice. I've always wanted a fireplace. I've never had a home with a fireplace. Well, this is my only home ever, so. Before this, it was all apartments, and they don't like to put apartments in fireplaces in New York. I mean, if you're really rich, they do, but not in the kind of apartments I lived in growing up, so. But, maybe someday, when I get that nice country house with a lakeside view, nice wraparound porch, looking out over the lake, got that Alan Wake-like writing room up in the window, you know, with the window that overlooks the lake, the side window. Hopefully it's not on an island with a fucked up bridge and a volcano. The wraparound porch would be number 1. The fireplace would be number 2 or maybe 3. I'd have to think of what else I would really want. Space would be nice. You guys are familiar with the writer John Scalzi? Red Shirts and Old Man's War and stuff like that. He has a beautiful, beautiful home. I think in Ohio, Vane. It's on top of a hill on like a solid like 4 acres, and it's like just grass, with a couple of majestic trees and space around this beautiful old colonial style house. But yeah, someday. Unless Aruba will let me move in. Apparently you can't move to Aruba. You have to spend a long time. You have to like... It takes a lot to be an Aruba resident. It is untenable, as far as I'm concerned. Excuse me. You have to live there for like... They let you live there for 3 years if you buy property. And then you have to leave for 3 years. And you can only come back for like 6 weeks a year or something. And then you can go back and live for 3 more years. And then you have to leave for like another 3 years. and then you can apply for full-time residency. But never citizenship, apparently. So. But anyway, guys. To transition from PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, which I'm having fun with, despite being terrible at. I wish there was like a shooting tutorial for it. I wish you could like, you know, learn how to use the weapons and stuff without just derping constantly. But it's cool. It's cool. It's never going to be my primary genre of game. Yeah, right? It'd be nice to have a little bit of training, basically. And I know it's early access, and maybe they'll put something like that in later, but you're just thrown into the fire, so you don't even really get I didn't even get a chance to engage with that guy. I made a bad decision. I saw him and I assumed he didn't assume me, which is I should have instead assumed he did see me and then gone from there. But you know, we learn. Anyway, guys, I think I gotta turn the fan on. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable. It's a little warm, but so last night we met Gollum. And I did a terrible, terrible Gollum. That whole Gollum thing, he does with his throat, I don't know. Did you guys, not to be political at all, but if you haven't seen, see, I didn't even know there were mountains in Idaho, Moose. I just assumed everything was flat and corny. Cornfields, and like that's my vision of Idaho, you know? Field of Dreams, Idaho, not mountainy Idaho. I don't know much about that part of the country. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen Andy Serkis of Gollum fame reading, well, I mean, either you're gonna retire, or you're gonna not retire. You'll be alright. We're very adaptable creatures, us humans. If I don't get this thought out, I'm gonna shoot myself. Andy Serkis reading Donald Trump tweets. I don't care what your political affiliation is, it's fucking hysterical. I think he was on Colbert. It's just great. Or James Corden, one of those guys. But, it's just hysterical. So, lots of mountains. Craig Mountain, because your name is Craig. Alright. I imagine there's not any Joe Mountains in the world. Or Joseph Mountains. There probably is. There's probably Mount Joseph somewhere or something like that. Anyway, without further ado, I've kind of brought myself down a notch here. Hope you guys can enjoy Out of the Frying Pan into the Fire, Chapter 6 of The Hobbit. Bilbo had escaped the goblins, but he did not know where he was. A list? What kind of list? Oh, Craigslist. Sorry, Sid. It's late for me. I'm a little slow on the uptake, you witty bastard. Hey guys, do we shout out Sid yet? I know everybody knows Sid, but fuck it, I like shouting people out. Guys, if you have not followed Sit1976, you should do so. First of all, because I believe he was born in 1976, and that's where he got his name, which is just corny as hell, but really awesome. Also, he's playing Dragon Age Origins, which makes me jealous as fuck. Secondly, he streams naked, which is really crazy, and I don't know how he gets away with it. That's against Twitch terms of service, but his body is that of a Greek god. So I think they let him fly on the fact that he is the perfect specimen of manliness. So it makes you 3 years younger than me, sir, on one level or another. More than 3 years younger than me, because I was born on January 1st, 1973. I don't know if I ever told you guys that. I'm a New Year's baby. Nobody ever celebrates my birthday. No, I've seen you naked. I've seen it. Yeah. I just assume that's body paint that you wear as shirts sometimes. It's pretty hot. But, yeah, I'm a New Year's baby. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Sit was born the perfect year, 1976. And, his nudity is something to behold. Definitely check him out. Alright. Enough silliness. Well, it's never enough silliness, but... hopefully you guys think I'm funny and not just a fucking moron. You know? That bit, like, I have no idea. No clue what your reactions actually are. You're all sitting there like, read the fucking Hobbit, asshole. And I'm like, I'm telling stupid jokes. Whatever. I'm gonna do me. You don't like it? There's other channels. Hit the bricks. Alright, check it. Alright, check it. I'm reading a rap song, J.R.R. Tolkien style. Bilbo had escaped the goblins, but he did not know where he was. He had lost hood, cloak, food, pony, his buttons, and his friends. That's a bad fucking day. The Hobbit, editorial style. He wandered on, till the sun began to sink westwards behind the mountains. For some reason, behind the mountains is italicized. Never hear it. You can't, right? Like, whatever. You just go with it. It's me. What are you gonna do? Some people get your sense of humor, and some people think you're a jackass. I don't know why behind the mountains is italicized. It's confusing to me. I'm gonna put it real close. I don't know if you can see that or not, but... don't worry, I'll get in rhythm. Sorry. Once I burp more. This is what makes it a creative stream. If I just read it, I would be stealing someone's copyright and using that to advance my own streaming aspirations as a career. But because I editorialize on this shit, and you guys have to put up with my shitty jokes, it's creative. Their shadows, meaning the italicized mountains, fell across Bilbo's path, and he looked back. Then he looked forward, and could see before him only ridges and slopes falling towards lowlands and plains, glimpsed occasionally between the trees. That may be the roughest passage I've read in this book so far, and Tolkien's a solid writer, but that was... like, the whole thing just put me out of the mood. Anyway. Good heavens, he exclaimed. I seem to have got right to the other side of the Misty Mountains, right to the edge of the land beyond. Where, and oh where, can Gandalf and the dwarves have got to? I only hope to goodness they are not still back there in the power of the goblins. He still wandered on, out of the little high valley over its edge and down the slopes beyond. But all the while, a very uncomfortable thought was growing inside him. He wondered whether he ought not, now he had the magic ring, to go back into the horrible, horrible tunnels and look for his friends. He had just made up his mind that it was his duty that he must turn back. Very miserable he felt about it when he heard voices. He stopped and listened. It didn't sound like goblins, so he crept forward carefully. He was on a stony path winding downwards, with a rocky wall on the left hand. On the other side of the ground sloped away, and there were dells below the level of the path, overhung with bushes and low trees. In one of these dells, under the bushes, people were talking. He crept still nearer. Suddenly he saw peering between two big boulders, a head with a red hood on. It was Balin, doing lookout. He could have clapped and shouted for joy, but he did not. He had still got the ring on for fear of meeting something unexpected and unpleasant, and he saw that Balin was looking straight at him without noticing him. Hey, Zombie HR! Zombie Hunter, but Zombie Human Resources. Guys, Zombie is a good friend, and it was actually an accidental auto-host, but you're welcome anyway. I was having technical difficulties, so you gained a little hosting. But my pleasure. Anytime I see you on that I'm not, around. Happy to. Can we shout out Zombie, guys? Just in case people aren't familiar with him as a streamer. Let me get comfortable here. Anyway, welcome to the stream, and on with The Hobbit. He'd still got the ring on for fear of meeting something unexpected and unpleasant, and he saw that Balin was looking straight at him without noticing him. I'll give them all a surprise, he thought, as he crawled into the bushes at the edge of the dell. Gandalf was arguing with the dwarves. They were discussing all that had happened to them in the tunnels, and wondering and debating what they were going to do now. The dwarves were grumbling, and Gandalf was saying that they could not possibly go on with their journey, leaving Mr. Baggins in the hands of the goblins, without trying to find out if he was alive or dead, and without trying to rescue him. After all, he is my friend, said the wizard. And not a bad little chap. I don't know where Gandalf's voice went. I feel responsible for him. I wish to goodness you had not lost him. I can't get comfortable. Great book, Zombie. Great book. It's a classic. It's my introduction to fantasy way back when I was a wee lad. The dwarves wanted to know why he had never been brought at all. Why he had ever been brought at all. Reading is fundamental, guys. Why he could not stick to his friends and come along with them, and why the wizard had not chosen someone with more sense. He has been more trouble than useful. Okay, that's not Gandalf. He's been more trouble than useful so far, said one. We've got to go back now into those abominable tunnels and look for him. Then drat him, I say. Gandalf answered angrily. I brought him, and I don't bring things that are of no use. Either you help me to look for him, or I'll go and leave you here and get out of the mess as best you can yourselves. If we can only find him again, you'll thank me before it's all over. Whatever did you want to go on and drop him for, Dory? You would have dropped him, said Dory, if a goblin had suddenly grabbed your leg from behind in the dark, tripped up your feet, and kicked you in the back. Then why didn't you pick him up again? Good heavens, can you ask? Goblins fighting and hitting in the dark. Everybody falling over bodies and hitting one another. You nearly dropped off my Edward Glamdring, and Thorin was stabbing here and there everywhere with Orcrist. All of a sudden you gave one of your blinded flashes, and we saw the goblins running back yelping. You shouted, "Follow me, everybody!" He's mocking him, that's great. and everybody ought to have followed. We thought everybody had, but there was no time to count, as you know quite well, till we had dashed through the gate guards, out of the lower door, and helter-skelter down here. Here we are, without the burglar. Confuscaticate him. Confuscaticate? Yeah. And here's the burglar, said Bilbo, stepping down into the middle of them and slipping off the ring. Bless me, how they jumped. Then they shouted with surprise and delight. Gandalf was as astonished as any of them, and probably more pleased than all the others. He called to Balin and told him what he thought of a lookout man who let people walk right into them like that without warning. It is a fact that Bilbo's reputation went up a very great deal with the dwarves after this. If they had still doubted that he was really a first-class burglar in spite of Gandalf's words, they doubted no longer. Balin was the most puzzled of all, but everyone said it was a very clever bit of work. Indeed, Bilbo was so pleased with their praise that he just chuckled inside and said nothing whatever about the ring. And when I asked him how he did it, he said, "Oh, just crept along, you know, very carefully and quietly." Well, it's the first time even a mouse has crept along carefully and quietly under my nose and not been spotted, said Balin, and I took off my hood to you. Which he did. Balin, at your service, said he. Your servant, Mr. Baggins, said Bilbo. Everyone's very polite. Then they wanted to know all about his adventures after they had lost him, and he sat down and told them everything, except about finding the ring. Not just now, he thought. They were particularly interested in the riddle competition, and shuddered most appreciatively at his description of Gollum. And then I couldn't think of any other question with him sitting beside me, ended Bilbo. So I said, "What's in my pocket?" And he couldn't guess in 3 guesses, so I said, "What about your promise? Show me the way out." But he came at me to kill me, and I ran, and fell over, and he missed me in the dark. Then I followed him, because I had heard him talking to himself. He thought I really knew the way out, so he was making for it. And then he sat down in the entrance, and I could not get by, so I jumped over him and escaped, and ran down to the gate. "What about the guards?" they asked. "Weren't there any?" "Oh, yes, lots of them, but I dodged them. I got stuck in the door, which was only open a crack, and I had lost lots of buttons," he said sadly, looking at his torn clothes. "But I squeezed through all right, and here I am." The dwarves looked at him with quite new respect, when he talked about dodging guards, jumping over Gollum, and squeezing through, as if it was not very difficult or very alarming. "What did I tell you?" said Gandalf, laughing. "Mr. Baggins has more about him than you guess." He gave Bilbo a queer look from under his bushy eyebrows as he said this, and the hobbit wondered if he guessed at the part of the tale that he had left out. Then he had questions of his own to ask, for Gandalf had explained it all by now to the dwarves. Bilbo had not heard it. He wanted to know how the wizard had turned up again, and where they'd all got to now. The wizard, to tell the truth, never minded explaining his cleverness more than once, so now he had told Bilbo that both he and Elrond had been well aware of the presence of evil goblins in that part of the mountains, but their main gate used to come out a different pass, one more easy to travel by, so that they often caught people benighted near their gates. Evidently people had given up going that way, and the goblins must have opened a new entrance at the top of the pass the dwarves had taken, quite recently, because it had been found quite safe up to now. "I must see if I can find a more or less decent giant to block it up again," said Gandalf. "For soon there will be no getting over the mountains at all." Thunuf Matata means no worries. Alright. As soon as Gandalf had heard Bilbo's yell, he realized what had happened. In the flash which killed the goblins that were grabbing him, he had nipped inside the crack just as it snapped to. He followed after the drivers and prisoners right to the edge of the great hall, and there he sat down and worked up the best magic he could in the shadows. "A very ticklish business it was," he said. "Touch and go." But of course, Gandalf had made a special study of bewitchments with fire and lights. Even the Hobbit had never forgotten the magic fireworks at Old Took's Midsummer Eve parties, as you remember. The rest we all know, except that Gandalf knew about the back door, as the goblins called the lower gate, where Bilbo lost his buttons. As a matter of fact, it was well known to anybody who was acquainted with this part of the mountains. But it took a wizard to keep his head in the tunnels and guide them in the right direction. They made that gate ages ago, he said. Partly for way of escape if they needed one, partly as a way out into the lands beyond. But they still come in the dark and do great damage. They guard it always, and no one has ever managed to block it up. They will guard it doubly after this. All the others laughed. After all, they had lost a good deal, but they had killed the Great Goblin and a great many others besides, and they had all escaped, so they might be said to have had the best of it so far. But the wizard called them to their senses. We must be getting rest on at once. Now that we must be getting on at once now that we're a little rested, he said. They will be out after us in the hundreds when night comes on, and already shadows are lengthening. They can smell our footsteps for hours and hours after we have passed. We must be miles on before dusk. There'll be a bit of moon, and if it keeps fine, and that is lucky. Not that they mind the moon as much, but it will give us a little light to steer by. Oh yes, he said in answer to more questions from the hobbit. You lose track of time inside goblin tunnels. Today's Thursday, and it was Monday night or Tuesday morning when we were captured. We've gone miles and miles and come right down through the heart of the mountains, and are now on the other side. Quite a shortcut. But we are not at the point to which our pass would have brought us. We are too far to the north, and have some awkward country ahead, and we are still pretty high up. Let's get on. I am so dreadfully hungry, groaned Bilbo, who was suddenly aware that he had not had a meal since the night before last. Just think of that for a hobbit. His stomach felt all empty and loose, and his legs all wobbly, now the excitement was over. Can't help it, said Gandalf. Unless you like to go back and ask the goblins nicely to let you have your pony back and your luggage. No, thank you, said Bilbo. Very well then. Let's just tighten our belts and trudge on, or we shall be made into supper, and that will be much worse than having none ourselves. As they went on, Bilbo looked from side to side for something to eat, but all the blackberries were still only in flower, and of course there were no nuts nor even hawthorn berries. He nibbled a bit of sorrel, and he drank from a small mountain stream that crossed the path, and he ate 3 wild strawberries that he found on its bank, but it was not much good. They still went on and on. The rough path disappeared, the bushes and the long grasses between the boulders, the patches of rabbit-cropped turf, the thyme and the sage and the marjoram, and the yellow rock roses all vanished, and they found themselves at the top of a wide, steep slope of fallen stones, the remains of a landslide. When they began to go down this, rubbish and small pebbles rolled away from their feet. Soon, larger bits of spit stone went clattering down and started other pieces below them slithering and rolling. Then, lumps of rocks were disturbed and bounded off, crashing down with a dust and a noise. Before long, the whole slope above them, and below them, seemed on the move, and they were sliding away, huddled all together in a fearful confusion of slipping, rattling, cracking slabs and stones. It was the trees at the bottom that saved them. They slid into the edge of a climbing wood of pines that here stood right up to the mountain slope from the deeper, darker forests of the valleys below. Some caught hold of the trunks and swung themselves into lower branches. Some, like the little hobbit, got behind a tree to shelter from the onslaught of the rocks. Soon the danger was over, the slide had stopped, and the last faint crashes could be heard on the largest of the disturbed stones, as the largest of the disturbed stones went bounding and spinning among the bracken and the pine roots far below. Well, that has got us on a bit, said Gandalf, and even goblins tracking us will have a job to come down here quietly. I dare say, grumbled Bombur, but they won't find it difficult to send stones bouncing down on our heads. The dwarves and Bilbo were feeling far from happy, and were rubbing their bruised and damaged legs and feet. Nonsense! We're going to turn aside here out of the path of the slide. We must be quick. Look at the light. The sun had long gone behind the mountains. Already the shadows were deepening about them, though far away through the trees and over the black tops of those growing lower down, they could still see the evening lights on the plains beyond. They limped along now as fast as they were able, down the gentle slopes of a pine forest in a slanting path, leading steadily southwards. At times they were pushing through a sea of bracken with tall fronds rising right above the hobbit's head. At times they were marching along quiet as quiet over a floor of pine needles, and all the while the forest gloom got heavier, and the forest silence deeper. There was no wind to bring even a sea sighing the branches of the trees. Must we go any further? Asked Bilbo when it was so dark that he could only just see Thorin's beard wagging beside him, and so quiet that he could hear the dwarves breathing like a loud noise. My toes are all bruised and bent, and my legs ache, and my stomach is wagging like an empty sack. A bit further, said Gandalf. After what seemed ages further, they came suddenly to an opening where no trees grew. The moon was up and was shining into the clearing. Somehow it all struck them. It's not a nice place at all, though there was nothing wrong to see. All of a sudden they heard a howl away downhill. A long, shuddering howl. It was answered by another away to the right, and a good deal nearer to them. Then by another, not far away to the left. It was wolves howling at the moon. Wolves gathering together. There were no wolves living near Mr. Baggins's hole at home, but he knew that noise. He had had it described to him often enough in tales. One of his elder cousins, on the Took side, who had been a great traveler, used to imitate it to frighten him. To hear it out in the forest under the moon was too much for Bilbo. Even magic rings are not much use against wolves, especially against the evil packs that lived under the shadow of the goblin-infested mountains, over the edge of the wild on the borders of the unknown. Wolves of that sort smell keener than goblins and do not need to see you to catch you. "What shall we do? What shall we do?" he cried. "Escaping goblins to be caught by wolves!" He said, and it became a proverb, though we now say that of the frying pan into the fire, in the same sort of uncomfortable situations. "Up the trees, quick!" cried Gandalf, and they ran to the trees at the edge of the glade, hunting for those that had branches fairly low or were slender enough to swarm up. They found them as quick as ever they could, you can guess, and they went high up as ever they could trust the branches. You would have laughed from a safe distance if you had seen the dwarves sitting up in the trees with their beards dangling down, like old gentlemen gone cracked and playing at being boys. Beely and Kili were at the top of a tall larch like an enormous Christmas tree. Dori, Nori, Ori, Oin, and Gloin were more comfortable in a huge pine with regular branches sticking out at intervals, like the spokes of a wheel. Bifur, Bofur, Bombur, and Thorin were in another. Dwalin and Balin had swarmed up a tall slender fir, with few branches, and were trying to find a place to sit in the greenery of the topmost boughs. Gandalf, who was a good deal taller than the others, had found a tree, into which they could not climb, a large pine standing at the very edge of the glade. He was quite hidden in its boughs, but you could see his eyes gleaming in the moon as he peeped out. "Have a great day at work, Sit. Catch you later, bud." And Bilbo? He could not get into any tree and was scuttling about from trunk to trunk like a rabbit that has lost its hole and has a dog after it. "We've left the burglar behind," said Nori to Dori, looking down. "I can't always be carrying burglars on my back," said Dori. "Down tunnels and up trees. What do you think I am, a porter?" "He'll be eaten if we don't do something," said Thorin. Oh, that's not a Thorin voice, but oh well. For there were howls all around them now, getting nearer and nearer. "Dori," he called, for Dori was lowest down in the easiest tree. "Be quick, and give Mr. Baggins a hand up." Dori was really a decent fellow in spite of his grumbling. Poor Bilbo could not reach his hand, even when he climbed down to the bottom branch, and hung his arm down as far as ever he could. So Dori actually climbed out of the tree and let Bilbo scramble up and stand on his back. Just at that moment the wolves trotted howling into the clearing. All of a sudden there were hundreds of eyes looking at them. Still Dori did not let Bilbo down. He waited till he clambered off his shoulders into the branches, and then he jumped for the branches himself. Only just in time! A wolf snapped at his cloak, A wolf snapped at his cloak as he swung up and nearly got him. In a minute there was a whole pack of them yelping all around the tree and leaping up at the trunk, with eyes blazing and tongues hanging out. But even the wild wargs, for so the evil wolves over the edge of the wild were named, cannot climb trees. For a time they were safe. Luckily it was warm and not windy. Trees are not very comfortable to sit in for long at any time, but in the cold and the wind, with wolves all around below waiting for you, they can be perfectly miserable places. This glade in the ring of trees was evidently a meeting place for the wolves. More and more kept coming in. They left guards at the foot of the tree in which Dory and Bilbo were, and then went sniffing about, for they had smelt out every tree that had anyone in it. These they guarded too, while all the rest, hundreds and hundreds it seemed, went and sat in a great circle in the glade, and in the middle of the circle was a great grey wolf. He spoke to them in the dreadful language of the wargs. Gandalf understood it. Bilbo did not, but it sounded terrible to him, and as if all their talk was about cruel and wicked things, as it was. Every now and then all the wargs in the circle would answer their great chief all together, and their dreadful clamour almost made the hobbit fall out of the pine tree. I would tell you what Gandalf heard, though Bilbo did not understand it. The wargs and the goblins did not usually venture very far from their mountains unless they are driven out and are looking for new homes or are marching to war, which I am glad to say has not happened for a long while. But in those days they sometimes used to go on raids, especially to get food or slaves to work for them. Then they often got the wargs to help them, and shared the plunder with them. Sometimes they rode on wolves like men do on horses. Now it seemed that a great goblin raid had been planned for this very night. The wargs had come to meet the goblins, and the goblins were late. The reason, no doubt, was the death of the great goblin, and all the excitement caused by the dwarves and Bilbo and the wizard, for whom they were probably still hunting. In spite of the dangers of this far land, bold men had of late been making their way back into it from the south, cutting down trees and building themselves places to live in among the more pleasant woods in the valleys and along the river shores. There were many of them, and they were brave and well armed, and even the wargs dared not attack them, if there were many together or in the bright day. But now, they had planned with the goblins to help come by night upon some of the villages nearest the mountains. If their plan had been carried out, there would have been none left there the next day. All would have been killed except for the few the goblins kept from the wolves and carried back as prisoners to their caves. This was dreadful talk to listen to, not only because all the brave woodsmen and their wives and children, but also because of the danger which now threatened Gandalf and his friends. The wargs were angry and puzzled, finding them here in their very meeting place. They thought they were friends of the woodmen, and would come to spy on them, and would take news of their plans down into the valleys, and then the goblins and the wolves would have to fight a terrible battle instead of capturing prisoners and devouring people awake suddenly from their deep sleep. So the wargs had no intention of going away and letting people up to trees escape, at any rate, not until morning. And long before that, they said, goblin soldiers would be coming down from the mountains, and goblins can climb trees, or cut them down. Now you can understand why Gandalf, listening to their growling and yelping, began to feel dreadfully afraid, wizard though he was, and to feel that they were in a very bad place, and had not yet escaped at all. All the same, he was not going to let them have all their own way, though he could not do very much stuck up in a tall tree with wolves all round on the ground below. He gathered the huge pine cones from the branches of his tree. Then he set one alight with a bright blue fire, and threw it whizzing down among the circle of wolves. It struck one on the back, and immediately his shaggy coat caught fire, and he was leaping to and fro, yelping horribly. Then another came, and another, one in blue flames, one in red, another in green. They burst on the ground in the middle of the circle and went off colored sparks and smoke. A especially large one hit the chief wolf on the nose, and he leaped into the air 10 feet, and then rushed around and round in a circle, biting and snapping even at the other wolves in his anger and fright. The dwarves and Bilbo shouted and cheered. The rage of the wolves was terrible to see, and the commotion they made filled all the forest. Wolves are afraid of fire at all times, but this was a most horrible and uncanny fire. The spark got in their coats, it stuck and burned into them, and unless they rolled over very quickly, they were soon all in flames. Soon all about the glade, wolves were rolling over and over to put out the sparks on their backs, while those that were burning were running about howling and setting others alight, till their own friends chased them away, and they fled off down the slopes crying and yammering and looking for water. "What's all this uproar in the forest tonight?" said the Lord of the Eagles. He was sitting, black in the moonlight, on the top of a lonely pinnacle of rock at the eastern edge of the mountains. "I hear wolves' voices. Are the goblins at mischief in the woods?" He swept up into the air, and immediately 2 of his guards from the rocks on either hand leaped up to follow him. They circled up in the sky and looked down upon the ring of wargs, a tiny spot far, far below. But eagles have keen eyes and can see small things at great distance. The Lord of the Eagles of the Misty Mountains had eyes that could look at the sun unblinking. He could see a rabbit moving on the ground a mile below, even in the moonlight. So though he could not see the people in the trees, he could make out the commotion among the wolves, and see tiny flashes of fire, and hear the howling and yelping come up faint from far beneath him. Also, he could see the glint of the moon on goblin spears and helmets, as long lines of the wicked folk crept down the hillside from their gate and wound into the wood. Eagles are not kindly birds. Some are cowardly and cruel, but the ancient race of northern mountains were the greatest of all birds. They were proud and strong and noble-hearted. They did not love goblins or fear them. When they took any notice of them at all, which was seldom, for they did not eat such creatures, they swooped on them and drove them shrieking back into their caves, and stopped whatever wickedness they were doing. The goblins hated the eagles and feared them, but could not reach their lofty seats or drive them from the mountains. Tonight the Lord of the Eagles was filled with curiosity to know what was afoot, so he summoned many other eagles to him, and they flew away from the mountains, and slowly circling, ever round and round, they came down, 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 towards the ring of wolves and the meeting place of the goblins. A very good thing, too. Dreadful things had been going on down there. The wolves had caught fire and fled into the forest, had set it alight in several places. It was high summer, and on this eastern side of the mountains there had been little rain for some time. Yellowing bracken, fallen branches, deep-piled pine needles, and here and there dead trees were soon in flames. All around the clearing of the wargs fire was leaping. The wolf gods did not leave the trees. Maddened and angry, they were leaping and howling around the trunks and cursing the dwarves in their horrible language, with their tongues hanging out and their eyes shining as red and fierce as the flames. Then suddenly goblins came running up yelling. They thought a battle with the woodsmen was going on, but they soon learned what had really happened. Some of them actually sat down and laughed. Others waved their spears and clashed their shafts against their shields. Goblins are not afraid of fire, and they soon had a plan which seemed to them most amusing. Okay, Zombie, thanks for hanging out, man. Hope you have a great night. Get some sleep. We'll catch you on the next one. Game on, brother. Some got all the wolves together in a pack. Some stacked fern and brushwood round the tree trunks. Others rushed round and stamped and beat and stamped until nearly all the flames were put out. But they did not put out the fire nearer to the trees where the dwarves were. That fire they fed with leaves and dead branches and bracken. Soon they had the ring of smoke and flame all around the dwarves, a ring which they kept from spreading outwards. But it closed slowly in until the running fire was licking the fuel piled under the trees. Smoke was in Bilbo's eyes. He could feel the heat of the flames, and through the reek he could see the goblins dancing round and round in a circle, like people round a summer bonfire. Outside the ring of the dancing warriors, with spears and axes, stood the wolves at respectful distance, watching and waiting. He could hear the goblins beginning a horrible song.
15 birds in 5 fir trees, their feathers were fanned in a fiery breeze. But funny little birds, they had no wings. Oh, what shall we do with the funny little things? Roast them alive or stew them in a pot, fry them, boil them, and eat them hot.
Then they stopped and shouted out,
Fly away, little birds, fly away if you can. Come down, little birds, or you will get roasted in your nests. Sing, sing, little birds. Why don't you sing?
Go away, little boys, shouted Gandalf in answer. It isn't bird nesting time. Also, naughty little boys that play with fire get punished. He said it to make them angry, and to show them that he was not frightened of them, though of course he was, wizard though he was. But they took no notice, and they went on singing. Burn, burn, tree and fern,
shrivel and scorch a fizzling torch to light the night for our delight. Yah-hey! Bake and toast 'em, fry 'em and roast 'em, the beards blaze, their eyes glaze, till hair smells and skins crack, fat melts and bones black. In cinders lie beneath the sky, shall dwarves shall die, and light the night, raw delight. Yah-hey, yah-harry-hey, ahoy. And with that yahoy, the flames were under Gandalf's tree. In a moment it spread to the others. The bark caught fire, the lower branches cracked. Then Gandalf climbed to the top of his tree. The sudden splendor flashed from his wand like lightning, and as he got ready to spring down from on high right among the spears of the goblins. That would have been the end of him, though he would have probably killed many of them as they came hurtling down like a thunderbolt. But he never leaped. Just at that moment the Lord of the Eagles swept down from above, seized him in his talons, and was gone. Yep. There goes Gandalf. It's pretty much the end of the story again. Oh wait, the story's about Bilbo. There was a howl of anger and surprise from the goblins. Loud cried the Lord of the Eagles, to whom Gandalf has now spoken. Back swept the great birds that were with him. Down they came like huge black shadows. The wolves yammered and gnashed their teeth. The goblins yelled and stamped with rage, and flung their heavy spears in the air in vain. Over them swooped the eagles. The dark rush of their beating wings smote them to the floor, or drove them far away. Their talons tore at goblin faces. Other birds flew to the treetops and seized the dwarves, who were scrambling up now as far as they dared go. Poor little Bilbo was nearly left behind again. He just managed to catch hold of Dory's legs as Dory was borne off at last, and they went together above the tumult and the burning, Bilbo swinging in the air with his arms nearly breaking. Now far below, the goblins and the wolves were scattering far and wide in the woods. A few eagles were still circling and sweeping above the battleground. The flames about the trees sprang suddenly up above the highest branches. They went up in a crackling fire. There was a sudden flurry of sparks and smoke. Bilbo had escaped, only just in time. Soon the light of the burning was faint below, a red twinkle on a black floor. They were high up in the sky, rising all the time in strong sweeping circles. Bilbo never forgot that flight, clinging to Dory's ankles. He moaned, "My arms! My arms!" But Dory groaned, "My poor legs! My legs!" At the best of times, the heights made Bilbo giddy. He used to turn queer if he looked over the edge of quite a little cliff, and he had never liked ladders, let alone trees, never having had to escape from wolves before. You can imagine how his head swam now when he looked down between his dangling toes and saw the dark lands opening wide underneath him, much here and there with the light of the moon on a hillside rock or a stream in the plains. Pale peaks of the mountains were coming nearer, moonlit spikes of rock sticking out of black shadows. Summer or not, it seemed very cold. He shut his eyes and wondered if he could hold on any longer. Then he imagined what would happen if he did not. He felt sick. The flight ended only just in time for him, just before his arms gave way. He loosed Dory's ankles with a grasp and fell onto the rough platform of an eagle's eyrie. There he lay, without speaking, in his thoughts, for a mixture of surprise at being saved from the fire, and fear lest he fell off the narrow place into the steep shadows on either side. He was feeling very queer indeed in his head by this time, after the dreadful adventures of the last 3 days, with next to nothing to eat, and he found himself saying aloud, "Now I know what a piece of bacon feels like, when it's suddenly picked out of the pan on a fork and put back on the shelf." "No, you don't," he heard Dory answering, "'cause the bacon knows that it'll get back in the pan sooner or later, and it is to be hoped that we shan't. Also, eagles aren't forks." It's a good bit of wisdom there. "Oh no, not a bit like storks. Forks, I mean," said Bilbo, sitting up and looking anxiously at the eagle who was perched close by. He wondered what the other nonsense he had been saying, and if the eagle would think it rude. You ought not to be rude to an eagle when you're only the size of a hobbit and are up in his eyrie at night. The eagle only sharpened his beak on a stone and trimmed his feathers and took no notice. Soon another eagle flew up. "The Lord of the Eagles,"
bids you bring your prisoners to the great shelf," he cried, and was off again. The other seized Dory in his claws and flew away with him into the night, leaving Bilbo all alone. He had just strength to wonder what the messenger had meant by prisoners, and had begun to think of being torn up or suffer like a rabbit when his own turn came. Oof, got warm in here, guys. I have to turn on a fan between chapters. The eagle came back, seized him by his talons in the back of his coat, and swooped off. This time he flew only a short way. Very soon Bilbo was laid down, trembling with fear, on a wide shelf of rock on the mountainside. There was no path down to it, save by flying, and no path down off it, except by jumping over a precipice. There he found all the others, sitting with their backs to a mountain wall. The Lord of the Eagles was also there, and was speaking to Gandalf. It seemed that Bilbo was not going to be eaten after all. The wizard and the Eagle Lord appeared to know one another slightly, and even to be on friendly terms. As a matter of fact, Gandalf, who had often been in the mountains, had once rendered a service to the Eagles and healed their lord from an arrow wound. So you see, prisoners had meant prisoners rescued from the goblins only, and not captives of the Eagles. As Bilbo listened to the talk of Gandalf, he realized at last that they were going to escape really and truly from the dreadful mountains. He was discussing plans with the Great Eagle for carrying the dwarves and himself and Bilbo far away, and setting them down well on their journey across the plains below. Make the I don't think that's the problem. I think I just cut off all the airflow because I closed the door. The Lord of the Eagles would not take them anywhere near where men lived. They would shoot at us with their great bows of yew, he said, for they would think we were after their sheep, and at other times they would be right. No, we are glad to cheat the goblins of their sport and glad to repay our thanks to you, but we will not risk ourselves for dwarves in the southward plains. Very well, said Gandalf. Take us where and as far as you will. We're already deeply obliged to you, but in the meantime we are famished with hunger. I'm nearly dead of it, said Bilbo in a weak little voice that no one heard. That, perhaps, can be mended, said the Lord of the Eagles. Later on, you might have seen a bright fire on the shelf of rock, and the figures of the dwarves round it, cooking and making a fine roasting smell. The eagles had brought up dry boughs for fuel, and they had brought rabbits, hares, and small sheep. The dwarves managed all the preparations. Bilbo was too weak to help, and anyway, he was not much good at skinning rabbits or cutting up meat, being used to having it delivered by the butcher all ready to cook. Gandalf too was lying down, after doing his part in setting the fire going, since Oin and Gloin had lost their tinderboxes. Dwarves have never taken to matches even yet. So ended the adventure of the Misty Mountains. Soon Bilbo's stomach was feeling full and comfortable, and he felt he could sleep contentedly, though really he would have liked a loaf and butter better than bits of meat toasted on sticks. He slept curled up on the hard rock more soundly than he had ever done in his feather bed, in his own home, in his own little hole at night. But all night he dreamed of his own house, and wandered in his sleep into his different rooms, looking for something that he could not find, nor remember what it looked like. Thus ends Chapter 6 of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, ladies and gentlemen. However, we will continue tonight with Chapter 7, though it seems our audience has grown small. So be it. They don't know what they're missing. But first, I must adjust for temperature. Be right back. child. Why does that keep coming up? Weird. A Twitch chat that I discontinued several hours ago keeps re-arising. Hi, Mikios. Welcome. Dried fruit goes well for a breakfast. Or a late-night snack in some cases. So, we shall continue with Chapter 7 of The Hobbit. It is called Queer Lodgings. The next morning, Bilbo woke up with an early sun in his eyes. He jumped up to look at the time and go to put his kettle on and found he was not home at all. So he sat down and wished in vain for a wash and a brush. He did not get either, nor tea, nor toast, nor bacon for his breakfast, only cold mutton and rabbit. And after that he had to get ready for a fresh start. This time he was allowed to climb to an eagle's back and cling between his wings. The air rushed over him, and he shut his eyes. The dwarves were crying farewells, and promised to repay the Lord of the Eagles if ever they could, and off rose 15 great birds from the mountain side. The sun was still close to the eastern side of things. The morning was cool, and the mists were in the valleys and the hollows, and twined here and there about the peaks and pinnacles of the hills. Bilbo opened an eye to peep and saw that the birds were already high up, and the world was far away, and the mountains were falling back behind them into the distance. He shut his eyes again and held on tighter. "Don't pinch," said his eagle. "You need not be frightened like a rabbit, even if you look rather like one. It's a fair morning with little wind. What is finer than flying?" Bilbo would have liked to say, "A warm bath and late breakfast on the lawn afterwards," but he thought it better to say nothing at all, and let go his clutch just a tiny bit. After a good while the eagles must have seen the point they were making for, even from their great height, for they began to go down circling round in great spirals. They did this for a long while, and at last the hobbit opened his eyes again. The earth was much nearer, and below him were trees that looked like oaks, and elms, and wide grasslands, and a river running through it all. And then Brad Pitt was there. But cropping out of the ground, right in the path of the stream, which looped about itself, was a great rock, almost a hill of stone, like a last outpost of the distant mountains, or a huge piece, cast miles into the plain by some giant among giants. Quickly now to the top of the rock the eagles swooped one by one, and set down their passengers. "Farewell," they cried, "wherever you fare, till your eyries receive you at the journey's end." That is the polite thing to say among eagles. "May the wind under your wings bear you where the sun sails and the moon walks," answered Gandalf, who knew the correct reply. And so they parted, and the Lord of the Eagles became in after days the king of all birds, and wore a golden crown, and his 15 chieftains golden collars, made of the gold that the dwarves gave them. Bilbo never saw them again, except high and far off, the battle of the 5 armies. But as that comes in at the end of this tale, we will say no more about it just now. It's a rather awkward bit of foreshadowing. There was a flat space on top of the hill of stone, and a well-worn path with many steps leading down to the river, across which a ford of huge flat stones led to the grassland beyond the stream. There was a little cave, a wholesome one with a pebbly floor, at the foot of the steps and near the end of the stony ford. Here the party gathered and discussed what was to be done. "I always meant to see you all safe, if possible, over the mountains," said the wizard. "And now, by good management and good luck, I have done it. Indeed, we are now a good deal further east than I ever meant to come with you, and after all this is not my adventure. I may look in at it again before it is all over, but in the meanwhile I have some other pressing business to attend to." The dwarves groaned and looked almost distressed, and Bilbo wept. They had begun to think Gandalf was going to come all the way, and they would always be there to help them out of difficulties. "I am not going to disappear this very instant," he said. "I can give you a day or 2 more. Probably I can help you out of your present plight, and I need a little help myself. We have no food and no baggage and no ponies to ride, and you don't know where we are. Now I can tell you that. You are still some miles north of the path which we should have been following, and if we had not left the mountains pass in a hurry. Very few people live in these parts, unless they have come down here since I was last down this way, which is some years ago. But there is somebody that I know of who lives not far away, That somebody made the steps of the great rock, the Karak I believe he calls it. He has not come here often, certainly not in the daytime, and it is no good waiting for him. In fact, it would be very dangerous. We must go and find him, and if all goes well at our meeting, I think I shall be off, and wish you like the eagles. Farewell, wherever you fare. They begged him not to leave him. They offered him dragon gold and silver and jewels, but he would not change his mind. We shall see. We shall see, he said. I think I have earned already some of your dragon gold when you have got it. After that they stopped pleading. Then they took off their clothes and they bathed in the river, which was shallow and clear and stony at the ford. When they had dried in the sun, which was now strong and warm, they were refreshed, if still sore and a little hungry. Soon they crossed the ford, carrying the hobbit, and then began to march through the green long grass and down the lines of the wide-armed oaks and the tall elms. "And why is it called the Karak?" asked Bilbo as he went along at the wizard's side. "He called it the Karak because Karak is his word for it. He calls things like that Karaks, and this one is the Karak because it's the only one near his home, and he knows it well." "Who calls it? Who knows it?" "The somebody I spoke of, a very great person. You must all be very polite when I introduce you. I shall introduce you slowly, 2 by 2, I think, and you must be careful not to annoy him, or heaven knows what will happen. He can be appalling when he's angry, though he's kindly enough if humid. Still, I warn you he gets angry easily." The dwarves all gathered round when they heard the wizard talking like this to Bilbo. "Is that the person you're taking us to now?" they asked. "Couldn't you find someone more easy-tempered? Hadn't you better explain it all a bit clearer?" And so on. "Yes, it certainly is. No, I could not, and I was explaining it very carefully," answered the wizard crossly. "If you must know more, his name is Bjorn. He is very strong, and he is a skin changer." "What? A furrier? A man that calls rabbits conies, when he doesn't turn their skins into squirrels?" asked Bilbo. "Good gracious heavens, no, 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 man," said Gandalf. "Don't be a fool, Mr. Baggins, if you can help it, and in the name of all wonder, don't mention the word furrier again, as long as you're within 100 miles of his house. No rug, cape, tippet, muff, nor any other such unfortunate word. He is a skin changer. He changes his sin. Sometimes he's a huge black bear. Sometimes he's a great strong black-haired man with huge arms and a great beard. I cannot tell you much more, but that ought to be enough. Some say that he is a bear descended from the great and ancient bears of the mountains and lived there before the giants came. Others say he is a man descended from the first men who lived before Smaug or the other dragons came into this part of the world, and before goblins came into the hills out of the north. I cannot say, though I fancy the last is the true tale. He is not the sort of person to ask questions of. At any rate, he's under no enchantment but his own. He lives in an oak wood, and has a great wooden house, and as a man he keeps cattle and horses which are nearly as marvelous as himself. They work for him, and talk to him. He does not eat them, neither does he hunt or eat wild animals. He keeps hives and hives of great fierce bees, and lives most on cream and honey. As a bear, he ranges far and wide. I once saw him sitting all alone on top of the Karak at night, watching the moon sinking toward the misty mountains, and I heard him growl in the tongue of bears, "The day will come when they will perish, and I shall go back." That is why I believe he once came from the mountains himself. Bilbo and the dwarves had now plenty to think about, and they asked no more questions. They still had a long way to walk before them. Upslope and down dale they plodded. It grew very hot. Sometimes they rested under the trees, and then Bilbo felt so hungry that he would have eaten acorns if any had been ripe enough yet to have fallen to the ground. It was the middle of the afternoon before they noticed the green patches of flowers had begun to spring up, all the same kinds growing together as if they had been planted. Especially there was clover, waving patches of coxcomb clover, and purple clover, and wide stretches of short, white, sweet, honey-smelling clover. There was a buzzing and a whirring and a droning in the air. Bees were busy everywhere. And such bees! Bilbo had never seen anything like them. If one was to sting me, he thought, I should swell up as big as I am. They were bigger than hornets. The drones were bigger than your thumb, a good deal, and the bands of yellow on the deep black bodies shone like fiery gold. "We are getting near," said Gandalf. "We are on the edge of his bee pastures." "Bee pastures? I like beef pastures. Not really. Nobody likes beef pastures. After a while they came to a belt of tall and very ancient oaks, and beyond those to a high thorn hedge through which you could neither see nor scramble. "You had better wait here," said the wizard to the dwarves, "and when I call a whistle to begin to come to me, you will see that you will see the way I go. But only in pairs, mind. About 5 minutes between each pair of you. Bomber is fattest and will do for 2. You'd better come alone at last. Come on, Mr. Baggins. There's a gate somewhere around this way." And with that he went off, along the hedge, taking the frightened hobbit with him. They soon came to a wooden gate, high and broad, beyond which they could see gardens and a cluster of low wood buildings, some that stretched, made of unshaped logs. Barns, stables, sheds, and a long low wooden house. Inside, on the southward side of the great hedge, were rows and rows of hives with bell-shaped tops made of straw. The noise of the giant bees flying to and fro and crawling in and out filled the air. The wizard and the hobbit had yawned quite suddenly. The wizard and the hobbit pushed open the heavy creaking gate and went down a wide track towards the house. Some horses, very sleek and well-groomed, trotted up across the grass and looked at them intently with very intelligent faces. Then off they galloped to the buildings. "They have gone to tell him of the arrival of strangers," said Gandalf. Soon they reached a courtyard, 3 walls of which were formed by a wooden house and its 2 long wings. In the middle there was lying a great oak trunk with many lopped branches beside it. Standing near was a huge man, with a thick black beard and hair, and great bare arms and legs with knotted muscles. He was clothed in a tunic of wool down to his knees. He was leaning on a large axe. The horses were standing by him with their noses at his shoulder. Here they are," he said to the horses. "They don't look dangerous. You can be off." He laughed a great rolling laugh, put down his axe, and came forward. "Who are you, and what do you want?" he asked gruffly, standing in front of them and towering tall above Gandalf. As for Bilbo, he could easily have trotted through his legs. Without ducking his head to miss the fringe of the man's brown tunic. "I am Gandalf," said the wizard. "Never heard of him," growled the man. "And what's this little fellow?" he said, stooping down to frown at the hobbit with his bushy eyebrows. "That is Mr. Baggins, a hobbit of good family and an unimpeachable reputation," said Gandalf. Bilbo bowed. He had no hat to take off, and was painfully conscious of his many missing buttons. "I am a wizard," continued Gandalf. "I have heard of you. You have not heard of me. Perhaps you have heard of my good cousin Radagast, who lives near the southern borders of Mirkwood." "Yes, not a bad fellow as wizards go, I believe. I used to see him now and again," said Bjorn. "Well now, I know who you are, who you say you are. What do you want?" "To tell you the truth, we have lost our luggage and nearly lost our way, and are rather in need of help or at least advice. I may say we have had a rather bad time with goblins in the mountains." "Goblins?" said the big man less gruffly. "Oh-ho, so you've been having trouble with them, have you? What did you go near them for?" "We did not mean to. They surprised us at night in a pass which we had to cross. We were coming out of the lands over the west into these countries. It is a long tale." "Then you'd better come inside and tell me some of it, or it won't take all day," said the man, leading the way through the dark door that opened out of the courtyard into the house. Following him, they found themselves in a wide hall. A wide hall made for yawning, with a fireplace in the middle. Though it was summer, there was a wood fire burning and the smoke was rising up to the blackened rafters in search of a way out through an opening in the roof. They passed through this dim hall, lit only by the fire in the hole above it, and came through another smaller door into a sort of veranda propped on wooden posts and made of single tree trunks. It faced south and was still warm, filled with the light of the westering sun which slanted into it, fell golden on the garden full of flowers that came right up to the steps. Here they sat on wooden benches while Gandalf began his tale, and Bilbo swung his dangling legs and looked at the flowers in the garden, wondering what their names could be, as he had never seen half of them before. "I was coming over the mountain with a friend or two," said the wizard. "Or two?" can only see one, and a little one at that, said Bjorn. Well, to tell you the truth, I did not like to bother you with the lot of us until I found out if you were busy. I will give a call if I may. Go on, call away. So Gandalf gave a long shrill whistle, and presently Thorin and Dori came round the house by the garden path and stood bowing low before them. 103, you meant I see, said Bjorn. But these aren't hobbits. They are dwarves. Thorin Oakenshield, at your service. Dori, at your service, said the two dwarves, bowing again. I don't need your service, thank you, said Bjorn. But I expect you need mine. I'm not over fond of dwarves. But if it is true, and you are Thorin, son of Thrain, son of Thror, I believe, and that your companion is respectable, and that you are enemies of the goblins and are not up to any mischief in my lands. What are you up to, by the way? They are on their way to visit the land of their fathers, way east beyond Mirkwood, put in Gandalf. And it is entirely an accident that we are in your lands at all. We were crossing by the High Pass, and should have brought us on a road that lies to the south of your country, and we were attacked by evil goblins, as I was about to tell you. Go on telling then, said Bjorn, who was never very polite. There was a terrible storm. The stone giants were out hurling rocks, and at the head of the pass we took refuge in a cave. The hobbit and I and several of our companions. You called two several? Well, no, as a matter of fact there were more than two. Where are they? Killed, eaten, gone home? Well, no, they don't seem to have all come when I whistled. Shy, I expect. You see, we are very much afraid that we are rather a lot for you to entertain. Go on, whistle again. I'm in for a party, it seems. One or two more won't make much difference, growled Bjorn. Gandalf whistled, and Nori and Ori were there almost before he had stopped, for if you remember, Gandalf had told them to come in pairs every 5 minutes. Hello, said Bjorn. You came pretty quick. Where were you hiding? Come on, my jack-in-the-boxes. Nori, at your service. Ori, at your... They began, but Bjorn interrupted them. Thank you. When I want your help, I'd ask for it. Sit down and let's get on with this tale. It'll be supper time before it's ended. As soon as we were asleep, went on Gandalf, a crack at the back of the cave opened. Goblins came out and grabbed the hobbit and the dwarves and our troop of ponies. Troop of ponies? What were you? Traveling circus? Or you carry lots of goods? Or do you always call 6 a troop? No. As a matter of fact, there were more than 6 of us. More than 6 ponies, for there were more than 6 of us. And, well, here are 2 more. Just at that moment, Balin and Dwalin appeared and bowed so low that their beards swept the stone floor. The big man was frowning at first, but they did not... They did their very best to be frightfully polite, and kept on nodding and bending and bowing and waving their hoods before their knees, in proper dwarf fashion, till he stopped frowning and burst into a chuckling laugh. They looked so comical. Droop was right, he said. A fine comic one. Come in, merry men. And what are your names? I don't want your service just now, only your names, and then sit down and stop wagging. Balin and Dwalin, they said, not daring to be offended, and sat flop on the floor, looking rather surprised. Now go on again, said Bjorn to the wizard. Where was I? Oh, yes, I was not grabbed. I killed a goblin or 2 with a flash. Good, growled Bjorn. It's some good being a wizard, then. And slipped inside the crack before it closed. I followed down to the main hall, which was crowded with goblins. A great goblin was there with 30 or 40 armed guards. I thought to myself, even if they were not all chained together, what can a dozen do against so many? A dozen? This is the first time I heard 8 call a dozen. Well, you still got some more jacks that haven't come out of their boxes. Well, yes, there seem to be a couple more now. Fili and Kili, I believe, said Gandalf, and these 2 now appeared and stood smiling and bowing. They smiled and bowed a lot while I took a drink. That's enough, said Bjorn. Sit down and be quiet. Now go on, Gandalf. So Gandalf went on with the tale until he came to the fight in the dark and the discovery of the lower gate, and their horror when they found that Mr. Baggins had been mislaid. We counted ourselves and found that there was no hobbit. There were only 14 of us left. 14? That's the first time I've heard one from 10 leave 14. I
29. What else you haven't told me out of all the names of your party?
Well, of course, you haven't seen Orin and Gloin yet, and bless me, here they are. I hope you will forgive them for bothering you.
Oh, let them all come. Hurry up, come along, you two, and sit down. But look here, Gandalf. Even now, we've only got yourself 10 dwarves and the hobbit that was lost. That only makes 11, plus 1 mislaid, and not 14, unless wizards count differently. But now please get on with the tale.
Bjorn did not show it more than he could help, but really he had begun to get very interested. You see, in the old days he had known the very part of the mountain that Gandalf was describing. He nodded and he growled when he heard of the hobbit's reappearance out of the scramble, down the stone slide, and the wolf rings in the woods. When Gandalf came to their climbing into the trees with all the wolves underneath, he got up and strode about and muttered,
I wish I had been there. I would have had them more than fireworks.
Well, said Gandalf, very glad to see that his tale was making good impression, I did the best I could. There we were, with the wolves going mad underneath us and the forest beginning to blaze in places. When the goblins came down from the hills and discovered us, they yelled with delight and sang songs, making fun of us.
15 birds in 5 fir trees. Good heavens, growled Bjorn. Don't pretend that goblins can't count. They can. 12 isn't 15, and they knew it.
So do I. They were Bifur and Bofur as well. I haven't ventured to introduce them before, and here they are. In came Bifur and Bofur.
And me,
gasped Bombur, pulling up behind. I don't know why he sounded like it.
And me.
He was fat and also angry at being left till last. He refused to wait 5 minutes and followed immediately after the other two.
Well, now there are 15 of you. Since goblins can't count, I suppose that's all there were up the trees. Now perhaps we can finish the story without any more interruptions.
Mr. Baggins saw then how clever Gandalf had been. The interruptions had really made Bjorn more interested in the story, and the story had kept him from sending the dwarves off at once like suspicious beggars. He had never invited people into his home, if he could help it. He had very few friends, and they lived a good way away, and he never invited more than a couple of these to his house at any time. Now he had got 15 strangers sitting in his porch. By the time the wizard had finished his tale and had told of the eel's rescue, and of how they had all been brought to the Carrack, the sun had fallen behind the peaks of the misty mountains, and the shadows were long in Bjorn's garden.
A very good tale, said he. Best I've heard for a long while. If all beggars could tell such good tales, they might find me kinder. You may be up for making it all up, of course, but you deserve a supper for the story all the same. Let's have something to eat.
Yes, please, they all said together. Thank you very much. Perhaps... Yeah, we're halfway through that chapter, and I think we're going to stop there. Because I don't know that I have another half hour in me without screwing up my evening entirely in terms of sleep. So, Marcus on page 124. Getting ready to settle in for an evening with Bjorn. Viewers of the Game Life Game channel, I thank you for your patronage this evening. You make it worthwhile for me to come here, and I thank you very much. I hope that you might consider joining me again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for more gaming, and at 1 a.m. for more of The Hobbit. My name is Joe, and this has been Game Life Game, reminding you that life is what happens in between games, and there's nothing better than a life full of friendship and a warm fire and a good book and stories among friends. So I hope you've enjoyed this evening, and I will see you next game. Good night.